community that are served by the fresh food that Broome County can provide.
Yeah. Let me remind our viewers and our listeners that our guests are Penny Stringfield and Tom Kelly. They are longtime servants of the Broome County Council of Churches on various committees, and both working on the celebration that's coming up. So, tell me how you plan a party now for this many people. You mentioned that it's going to take some fundraising, not only for the truck, but I would imagine for the celebration too.
Well, let me say first that you can be part of the Broome County Council of Churches without giving a dollar. You can give of your time and your talent, and we value that most of all. But in the society in which we live, organizations, in order to be effective, have to be able to attract resources. And so we do that regularly at the Broome County Council of Churches, but for the 75th anniversary we decided we would try to raise $75,000 in addition to what we normally raise in a year. And so why did we decide that? Well, as Penny alluded, we have a strong need for another refrigerated truck for the Broome Bounty program, which is a companion of Chow. Most people know about Chow, they don't know about Broome Bounty. Broome Bounty will collect food from restaurants and grocery stores and other sources that is fresh food, and they deliver a lot of that fresh food to the 38 soup kitchens in our community. The council doesn't operate all of those soup kitchens, but Broome Bounty serves them with food. And so that's a very important ingredient. Plus, as Penny said, the council now operates 2 farms in which we create fresh produce so that people receiving meals through the Chow program are not confined to getting only boxed and canned foods. And so we need another refrigerated truck badly. But we'll get a good, gently used one because we use resources wisely, not in other manners.
Sure.
Secondly, we need another cargo van for the Chow program, because given the size of the Chow program, as I mentioned before, we will distribute this year in 2016 between 1.5 million to 1.75 million pounds of food. And that takes a lot of delivery, whether we're going from the Chow warehouse out to the food pantries in the churches and the synagogue for people in those neighborhoods to have access to them, or whether we're picking up those sources from Chow drives, where we have many of them. The university just sponsored a successful one for Chow. So we need that second cargo van, and that also will be a gently used one. And then there will be other needs of the council that we have to serve this year as well. So funds, in addition to helping us get those 2 vehicles, will go towards those needs. So we are underway. We're having success. We're not there yet, but we feel that on November 13th we will have a good anniversary present to give to the council.
Wonderful, wonderful. Folks can find out more about the celebration and ways to give by going to the website for the Broome County Council of Churches. And do you happen to know what that website is?
Not off the tip of my head, but I think if you can just Google Broome County Council of Churches, you will get right to it.
And also we have 2 incredible Facebook pages that'll give you a lot of information. One for the council overall, and also Chow has a Facebook page, which gives you some sense of what you can do and what a difference you can make. The mall was kind enough to allow us to have a presence there before back to school, and we had a canoe, and we asked people to fill up a boatload of food for Chow. And obviously not everyone comes to the mall with a canned good in their purse, but also they collected quite a bit of money. And I think one of the things that moved people to contribute was the fact that $1 can provide 4 meals. So when you think that you really can't do very much, you can.
Yeah. And this is interesting too, talking about building bridges, that we're talking about churches and communities of faith, whether they are Christian or not, being a part of the council's work, but working also, this was the news this past week, that the Northside Fresh Mobile Market program will extend past its 14-week pilot program, and that was announced by the mayor. So this is community and communities of faith working together. Under that program that began in June, the Community Hunger Outreach Warehouse, which we know familiarly as Chow, spends part of every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday selling fresh produce on the north side, an area of the city that hasn't had a full-service grocery store since 1996. So there is, again, a bridge being built.
Yes.
The folks in need, the council, but also the city being very involved, so the city of Binghamton.
Yes. And let me make the point that through the CHOW program, those who qualify and are in need get the food free. In this program where we are taking our vehicle out into a neighborhood, there are some people who have some means to purchase it, although they may be low income, but they would purchase it at a highly discounted rate.
Yes, right.
So I just don't want anyone to have the feeling that CHOW charges anyone. This is only this special program where we're helping people who have some income as opposed to CHOW, which gives it away.
And I know that having been a part of a food pantry, a clothing cottage kind of thing, that they said we could give this away. But a lot of folks don't want something given to them. Even if they pay a token amount, they feel pretty good about that. That they can buy this for much less than they would in the store. Let's go back to the celebration, just to remind folks who may have tuned in a little bit late that we're talking about a November 13th at 1 o'clock at the First Congregational Church of Binghamton, which is kind of centrally located.
Yes, it is.
And then you'll cross the bridge after a service there, a service of celebration. And then, let's see if I've been listening, then you'll go to the DoubleTree, where you will enter the banquet hall, I guess, there, and there will be some, you promised short presentations.
Yes. There will only be 4 speakers who are being told to speak for about 2.5 minutes each. And they will include myself to open the event. Reverend Dr. Joseph Selapak, the head of the Council of Churches, will say a few words. The Reverend Robert Matthias, who is the son of the founder, will receive a plaque and he will acknowledge that. And then Reverend Robert Peake, who is the current chair of the board, will say a few words on behalf of the board, and that will be it. Then we go to musical entertainment. We also will have informational tables around the outer edges of the room where Council of Churches staff members will be there with pamphlets and brochures to provide more information if you want to walk up and say, what does the Ramp It Up program do and how can I get involved? And then we also will have an elaborate historical timeline on the development of the Council of Churches, which is being developed by David Wasser, another member of our committee and board member at the Council. David is a retired history teacher and school principal, and so he's put a lot of time and effort into that, and that'll be kind of interesting as well.
Right.
We want people to know that there's no charge for this event. We want as many community people to be at this event. We would love to have everyone walk with us from the church, but we do understand that depending on weather and your physical condition, if you want to meet us for the celebration at the DoubleTree. But we want this to be a community-wide, very open event.
Yeah. And this is, again, to reiterate that this is not just for members of the churches or the religious communities, but this is for anyone who has the least bit of curiosity about how the council works and what it does.
Anyone in the community, and also to add on to what Penny has said, if you come and park your vehicle near First Congregational, we will have some of the vans transporting people to the DoubleTree if you don't want to walk or you can't walk, and those vans will run during the event. They'll bring you back to your vehicle. There is also parking at the DoubleTree if you just want to come to that event. And there's parking at other downtown locations as well.
Tell me about your real lives. Okay. You're at Binghamton University.
Yes, I've been at Binghamton University for 32 years, and I have been a long-time dean and vice president of the university. And now, as my hair is turning grayer in these past years, I return to my true love, which is teaching and doing research, and I'm enjoying these years very much after many years of administrative leadership.
Wonderful. And Penny?
I work for RVSA Advertising. I've worked for them for 35 years, and I am very grateful to work for a local family-owned business that not only allows me but truly blesses my participation in community and not-for-profit work.
Yeah. And so the two of you find time, carve out time from your busy professional lives to work as volunteers. And that's another thing that we want to emphasize. If folks go to the website for the Broome County Council of Churches, they'll find volunteer opportunities. hands-on ministry or serving on committees, which can be a vital part of any organization. So we invite you to do that. We hope that you'll go to that website, Google it. If you just enter Broome County Council of Churches, it will come up. So that will be helpful.
Or if you don't have a computer, just simply call the Broome County Council of Churches, obtaining their number in the phone book.
I can tell you that number, 724-9130.
Tell me again, please.
724-9130.
Okay, wonderful. Well, again, our thanks to you, not only for being on the program this morning, but also for your work, the hours that you devote to supporting the work of the Broome County Council of Churches. We don't often spend every program talking about ourselves here, but we thought that today, as we look forward to the celebration coming up in November, it was appropriate to kind of reiterate who we are as the Broome County Council of Churches and to look forward to that celebration. My guests have been Tom Kelly and Penny Stringfield. I got it right that time. And I'm Jeff Kellam, thanking you for being with us and encouraging you to join us again next week for Encounter. Our thanks to you for viewing and for listening, and for WBNG and WNBF for making this a media program that has served the community for many, many years as a television and radio experience. I'm Jeff Kellam. I hope that in the coming week you will be gentle with people and with yourself.